We're going right into this thing. That's what we're going to do. I do have a question for you right off the top. It just hit me about 30 seconds ago. I was saying right before we press record on this podcast, this is not my weekend. I'm about to get 2 days to kind of do what I want to do. And one of the things I'm going to do is put up Christmas decorations. And I know some people are all about it's too early for Christmas decorations, whatever. It's never too early for Christmas decorations. Once we are past October 31st, it is time for Christmas. My apologies to anybody who loves Thanksgiving. I love Thanksgiving too. If that is warm to your family and you come home out of state and all that, I get all that. God bless. But it's Christmas time. My question to you guys is, we put everything back to wrestling. Some people say putting up Christmas decorations this early is too soon. What is something in wrestling right now that people are clamoring for that you look and say, you know what? That's too soon to happen.
Outside of the obvious of how Jade just automatically came with the bloodline, we're talking about outside of that, right?
You can use that one.
Okay, let's go with that one.
Jade to the bloodline?
Jade to the bloodline.
Too soon. My GOAT, Cody Rhodes, turned the heel.
Okay, that's a good one too. It's not time yet. I am excited for it when it does happen. I think that's a good one. Mine's actually would be outside of those two, and we talked about it last week, is the thought of splitting up Jade and Bianca right now. 6 months from now could be a completely different story in terms of storyline. But I'm starting to see a lot of whispers on social media around Jade versus Bianca, and I think it's too soon right now. I got to share this too. On YouTube, shout out to all of our freaks that listen and watch. My guy, Joe, gave it up. On the last episode, Joe Davis.
Hey, Joe Davis.
Joe Davis said, as much as I like Jade, but to me, unfortunately, she's basically one of the many in WWE besides there are strong, muscular women who are far better in-ring performers than her, like Bianca, Rhea, Grace, Charlotte, and Tiffany. I've already accepted the fact that she's hit her ceiling as far as in-ring goes compared to those other 5 women I mentioned. This smiling and pandering babyface, Jade, has done her absolutely no favors and is very boring and stale because she's the Black Charlotte in the sense of being a natural cocky heel. Damn, Joe Davis came in hard.
Coming in super
came in
hot.
hot on that one.
Can we unpack that? There was like so many layers in what he said there. First off, thank you for your comment. That means you listen and you support the show. So thank you so much. I'm not going to say if I agree or disagree with that, but he said that he thinks that she's hit the ceiling on her wrestling ability. I wonder if he meant that only because she's a face right now. Like if she was a bad girl, would he still feel the same? Or if he just means in general that she's hit her ceiling. He called her the Black Charlotte. Yikes.
Guys. Hey, guys. Joe Davis wasn't done. I didn't say Joe Davis was done.
Let's go.
Joe Davis ain't done. Joe Davis said, to be honest, Jay's not ready from a mental and in-ring standpoint. From a big singles match against one of the best in Bianca at WrestleMania because she hasn't improved in ring enough to justify having a big singles match against Bianca at WrestleMania. Doesn't help her case when Lash Legend outshined her at Crown Jewel. And the fact she has only a handful of singles matches in WWE is indicative in their lack of faith in letting Jade swim on her own in singles matches. She doesn't have the best in-ring stamina, and Bianca does. Case in point, Bianca and Io had a great match on Raw a few weeks ago, but Jade doesn't have the best in-ring stamina to go over 10 minutes with one of the best women's wrestlers on the planet in Io, who is the Josie Rey Mysterio. I like that.
I would have called him a hater naturally, but he's coming with bars.
Joe Davis coming with it.
He's coming with bars, so you can't really like deny some of those things. It's like when people hate, like they just say haterish things with nothing to back it up with. He hit you with a boom, 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 boom. Get him on the show.
Hey, how long Jade been in WWE?
She made her debut at SummerSlam. I mean, Royal Rumble this past year. So it'd be 11 months now. We're in November.
7 months. Mm-hmm. And so we said from a in-ring perspective, she probably wasn't getting what she needed from a developmental point in AEW, right? So And I think when she was at AEW, I think she had under 100 matches or something like that, right?
Yeah,
something like that.
Right.
Yep.
90% of them squash matches.
Like that. Yep.
Yeah. So we compare it to like a Lash legend, Joe. And like, first of all, Joe, thank you for your comment, man. Hey, you know what? I wish I was going to WrestleMania. I feel like you will probably be there. We shake hands. We'll talk. But yeah, you're all based on this Jade thing, brother. Like we talk about Lash legend, who's at the Performance Center practicing the same match for probably 2 weeks before she does it. And she's been down there for a couple of years now, right? So she probably has more ring time under her belt than Jay's had probably in the past 3 years or 4 years she's been in the business, right? From a perspective. And then two, man, look, us wrestling fans, us hardcore fans, like the three of us, we talked about what a top single star should have or a top superstar should have. And we all have wrestling at the end of it. Man, Jay just needs to be able to tell a decent match and be able to progress the story. That's all. Like everyone who talks about she needs to go 15, 20 minutes or whatever, like the biggest stars in the business wasn't great ring. That's not what they were known for. She has it. She has the aura. If you want to say that, you know, the pandering baby face, now I might say there's some credence to that, but this is all, man, I know you just mentioned a little while ago too soon. This putting Bianca and Jade together was to break them up. Like this is what they've been shooting for since day one. I will probably say this is long-term booking that they've been doing with those two. And we going to see the fruit at WrestleMania one way or not. So y'all going to get y'all 10 to 12 minute match because it ain't about the match. It's about the moment of seeing them beautiful women standing face to face against each other. We already saw a sample of it. A sample of it on Raw last week. We going to get a big steak mouthful at WrestleMania, goddammit. It's going to be beautiful. Don't worry about the moves, goddammit. We worried about the moments that they want to create at WrestleMania, and it's going to be huge.
I do wonder, you made a astute comment. Could be wrong, could be right. I do wonder if the point of the team was to break them up. I don't think so. I think the point of the team was to hide Jade and get her acclimated to the WWE style. And then when we do break them up, it's going to be big business. But I don't think they were put together in thoughts of the blow off. I think they were put together because it's a beautiful situation. It's a beautiful story. It's inspiring. Two of the best looking women in WWE, et cetera, et cetera. But when we get to when
you go on the chalkboard, right, those are part of the advantages of telling that long-term story. Like, hey, they put them together to break them up. But hey, this is the benefit we're going to get from this partnership, right? She's going to be able to learn from one of the best, right? Because at the end of the day, let's talk about it. Like Bianca in her first year and a half when she got to that main roster, goddamn it. We was talking about Rhea and Bianca. We said that yes, Bianca had like the presence and the charisma, but Rhea had the ring work down pat, right? And we were like, Bianca will figure it out, and boy, did she figure it out, right? It takes people a minute, right? But at the end of the day, what she already has and what she had from day one, she has the it factor. And there's a lot of women on that roster. And let's talk about it. Let's further talk about that women roster. There's some bad matches on that bad boy. There's some women that have been there for a minute doing the same thing, and them matches ain't been. They are right.
So when you say bad matches, you mean
say it with your chest. Who?
Right?
Who we talking about?
Good, bad, or
who we talking about? Well,
I didn't know what you called bad.
You know what he's talking about. He's talking about bad. He's talking about trash. He's talking about shit sucks.
Actually, I'll take it back. It's not a lot of trash, but it's a lot of it's just there, right? Just competent. Like that's what I feel like.
Okay, hey Eshaun, who's just there? Tell us who's just there then.
Well, they fire Indy, so damn. But I like Indy. I'm actually surprised they got rid of Indy. But her matches, they were fine, right? They were fine.
I do want to talk about that because we completely skipped that last week, which was my bad. So Indy was terminated. She's gone.
Look, your boy.
We had who else did we have? I got it somewhere here.
Corbin.
My guy Baron Corbin, TFW podcast, legendary supporter. Yep. Corbin's gone.
Or third member replacing me. Actually, he was supposed to replace me.
We need to hit Corbin up.
We talked about it.
Who else? We're missing somebody. Tegan Knox.
Tegan Knox.
Yep. She was gone. Yep. I've always said, and I will continue to say, of course, we don't want anybody to lose their job. Never. You don't ever wish that on somebody. Unless it's your enemy, then I guess it's go to hell, right? But I do think some of y'all on social media who act like the world was ending when Tegan Knox got released can get the hell on somewhere. Tegan Knox has gone a long time without connecting I've said I think her confidence was completely shot. She wasn't the same when she came back. She got caught up.
Though?
And she just never connected. She never connected, and it wasn't working. Once again, I don't want anybody losing
all
their
the
job,
time. Right, she came back.
Yeah, but let's not
every
act
injury
like
she came back.
Oh my God, she was on TV every single week, and she was having incredible matches. I mean, hell, look at Indy. Indy was actually on the SmackDown the day she got terminated, and that was a tape show, of course, the week prior. But I do think there was something they could have done with Indy. Absolutely, I think they could have did something with Baron Corbin. He didn't really want to get caught up under the circumstances that he did get caught up on or caught up under. They didn't have anything planned for him to a certain extent. So that sucks when that happens. But I'm sure all three of them are going to land on their feet. We know that. I am interested to see if Corbin is going to continue to wrestle, though. He just comes across to me as somebody, I know he loves the business, but he has the personality that he could go do something else if he wanted to. So we'll kind of see. But but we did miss that. So I think everybody knew that. Look, let's actually intro the pod and let's get talking. We are through the hard way. You guys know that. Rhodesia is right there, always putting something up. I can't really tell what she typically does when she does that. Eshaun is here. Sounds like he's full of piss and vinegar today. I was waiting for him to kind of give it up, and he kind of pulled back a little bit. A little bad about that. You guys know me. You guys know me.
What'd you say?
Oh, there we go. He said sometimes you got to pull out. You heard what he said.
There we go.
You heard what he said.
5 minutes. First 5 minutes.
No, we are 11 minutes in right now.
Go in 11 minutes, then you pull it right back out. You got to tease him a little bit.
So real quick, my man name is Joe Davis or Joe Casey. I think I just called him
Joe Davis. Joe Casey. You don't know about Joe Casey. That's cash money right there. Joe Davis probably know about. Hey, but represent. Look, this whole show. Maybe I just named this show
Joe Davis. Just call it Joe Davis.
Because Joe be representing for us every single time the Lions win. And this is not a football podcast. But if it was a football podcast, I would be going off about 47 minutes about how this team is set up better than any team in the National Football League. And I said 3 weeks ago, we were one injury away on the Chiefs of being the best team in the league. We didn't even need any injuries on the Chiefs. We are currently the best team in the NFL. But I digress on that. You guys know me. I'm your favorite talker out here in these wrestling streets, Matt. This is where I'm at on this episode. And you guys, if you want to discuss in kayfabe, you can. I will probably sit it out. So, Monday happens, and they're taping Monday Night Raw for next week immediately after.
Please don't spoil anything for me.
I'm not spoiling anything.
Okay.
And that's where I'm at with it.
Okay.
Fuckers all over social media spoiled next week. Spoiled the men's War Games match and spoiled the women's War Games match. So, of course, on our docket should have been and was going to be who's the fifth member, Bloodline versus Bloodline. The answer as of next Monday is out there.
Oh, wow.
So,
I'm glad I didn't. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Correct. I am not going to be a part of a conversation where I know the answer that they're going to present on Raw Monday and then either act like that's not what's happening or I just can't do that. Right? So I'm livid. I get on Tuesday morning. The first thing I see is the spoilers. So I got to figure that out. As much as we love the inside stuff, I don't like spoilers in regards to this is definitely happening. I typically stay off the internet the weekend of the Royal Rumble. Eshaun has known that about me for years. I tell him, like, all right, man, I'm off. It'd be like Friday night, Saturday, early morning. I don't want to hear who's landed in said city. I don't want to give a damn who's at the venue. I don't want to hear nothing. Give me the surprises at the Rumble. So, yeah, we always dig into the dirt sheets and the insider stuff of who's getting pushed next and what the matches may look like. But when it's like finality and we haven't seen it on TV, that pisses me the hell off. So how do you guys want to handle the Bloodline versus Bloodline War Games conversation, considering spoilers out there and maybe the majority of our listeners or watchers know what those spoilers are?
Before E answers, Matt, I'm assuming you know who because you said on Tuesday morning you logged on and saw it on both sides, right? You know who the fifth man is on each side.
Yes.
E, do you know?
I do not.
Okay. I don't either. And I thought maybe I would have found out. So that's why I haven't been on the internet to see. We can move forward in this conversation, E and I, as far as what we think and what we expect. But like you said, if the majority of our listeners and watchers or viewers, if they already know it, would this be boring to them? Or is it still we have that naivety to us that we can have a quality conversation?
And maybe the majority of our listeners and viewers don't know the spoilers. That's the thing too. So how about we do this? How about you guys go into it in regards to who you would like the fifth member to be and who you think the fifth member can be. Like I said, I'll just lay out, and if there's any just good conversation to be had, I'll interject. But I am excited or interested to see how they've presented so far on Raw. We saw Jimmy go talk to Braun Breaker. We saw Sammy go talk to Seth Rollins. I enjoyed both of those interactions there for sure. Who else knows what else they may have done that wasn't on TV? But what's your guys' thoughts?
Well, who do I want on the bloodline, their OG bloodline? It comes down, honestly, between like the low-hanging fruit of Seth and Cody. But in the same breath, I don't even want them to be aligned with Roman right now anytime, because later in life, if those two ever come back together, because you already know I know that I want the Roman and Cody 3 to happen on its own grand stage. And whenever Roman and Seth kind of figure out their life, because again, they're brothers, they're going to have to finish telling that story sometime in the future, barring any injuries. Like, I don't want them to be attached to this. Them bringing in Sammy, to me, I thought was sufficient enough. I told you before, I'm not booking anything bloodline. I don't know who I would want. I know before the spoilers came out, Matt, you had told me somebody that you thought who it would be. I have no clue, on the OG bloodline of who I would want outside of the low-hanging fruit that I really don't want.
You know, part of my Twitter following, I told you guys before, I had been on Twitter for a long time, right? And actually, I've been involved in like a lot of modding communities for a long time. But I was like that silent guy. I didn't talk to nobody. Like, you know, I only read. I didn't post. I didn't comment. Now, I kept it moving. If I saw something, I hit up Matt, and I'd be like, "Yo, did you hear this?" But I didn't talk to people, man, because like I followed the things that I wanted to follow. Right, it was all about keeping peace. Right, we live in a world with a lot of stuff going on. Right, so for me, I only follow and look at the things that I like. I very rarely respond to anything. But, you know, ultimately, you know, we do this for fun because we love wrestling, but ultimately I love to do it for a living. So if I would probably interact with a lot more people if I have more time, but Big Daddy has been super busy with work. You know, I actually been working for a living lately. You know what I'm saying? Like I went through a time period to where, man, I would just close my eyes, come to work and just make money. You know, like I was out here living, energy. I was living the American dream. I'm just walking in and my brain just shut off. And at the end of the day, I had a productive day. Because I didn't even try to be successful when I was out here winning. But, you know, I'm still winning, but I'm actually working at the same time. Man, I don't know what to do with myself. But at the same time, though, I've been falling back on a lot of the wrestling stuff. So I have no idea what's going on. But I do have some things I want to talk to you guys about. Because I thought about some things, you know, Sammy talked to Seth. And the big one, I'm like, oh, you know, Seth would be a good one, right? Because I always kind of thought about something we can get to another day. And also, I'm going to take a step back. I'm actually really surprised how energetic I am. I have had no caffeine. Like,
look at you.
Have like very little sleep.
No, this is
like,
restlessness. This is the last stage, that final.
Yeah, bit. I think I'm going crazy mentally. Is with the problem. I'm like going crazy with lack of sleep and no caffeine. But I'm like, damn, you know what? Like, when are we gonna see a Shield reunion? We ain't gonna see one no time soon, right? But we can see one. Damn
never. Seth said never again,
right? So we're not gonna see Seth, right? Maybe we're not see Seth, right? And you know, my goat Cody V pops up. But look. I got a little fancy booking for y'all right here, man. It's like, what if they can't find the fifth man? I'm talking about the OG bloodline, right? Mm-hmm. And they're like, yo, we need somebody, right? And Sammy, like, don't worry about it. I got somebody for you. Like, they get their War Games. They still know who the fifth man is. The other three guys, they have no idea who's coming. You know, Sammy has been on the phone trying to get this special somebody for the event, and he doesn't know if he's coming. Almost kind of like I think Randy Orton was, like,
right,
something
year,
similar, right? Mm-hmm. Right? Then at the very end, like, right, we get the countdown timer, and then that fifth person for the OG bloodline comes out, and it goes a little something like this. Stone Cold. Oh, snap, he comes out. We ain't seen Stone Cold wrestle in years. And he comes to Roman Reigns' aid to help them battle the Bloodline. I think in a fantasy booking world, that would be a phenomenal thing. But who do I think is going to happen? Again, I haven't seen. I'm like, damn, I don't know who else is there but Cody. Like right there at the end of the day, I'm like, because all right, like KO and Randy Orton, those are his next, I think, feuds. Like right, one of those two men. But yeah, for Cody.
Yeah, right.
But you know, Orton just got that power driver from hell,
and he's out indefinitely, as what Triple H has said.
Yeah, they went back to the 70s and pulled that power driver back out, and now you know Orton's out of there. Maybe until War Games, right? He got a lot of time. He can come back from that neck injury. But
War Games is 4 weeks. If he that now we're not gonna do that now. He better be gone for a while, brother. They say right now it's to be determined when he gets back. I did like the power driver spot. I love that. I like my pop-up power bomb spot on the apron. It's the same thing though. It did the same thing. It did the exact same thing. But I did think it was really, really cool that we got to see a power driver back in WWE again, because that move has been outlawed, and that just shows, and we all know, but that just shows how you can get so much real estate out of a relatively safe move.
Exactly. But to us, it's not safe because of what you presented. I broke this man's neck.
Man, hey, dog, the reason why they banned that move, man, because dudes get effed up on that. Yeah. Like you know what I'm saying? Like, it's been a long match. Like, right, you see Owen, you know, like, look, that move is what shortened Stone Cold's career, right? I mean, that's a move that can take some people out for some time, right? But you know, this is AEW, you know, that's why I ain't want to say it.
See, no, we're not going to bash. You just said how much negativity's in the world. You said that in your monologue at the beginning of the show.
What's negative about that? That's an observation. That's a fact.
Because
that's what Joe Davis said. Joe Davis said
Joe Davis
Jade has hit her
Joe Davis definitely had an opposite.
No. That's an accusation. That's his opinion. That ain't the truth. Now, goddamn it. What I refuse to believe is that the black strong women of my community hit the ceiling at any point, because no, we don't do that. We keep progressing. We move forward. Now, it may not. We not move forward. That's right. I'm talking about we as a people. And I got a little woman in me too. You know what I'm saying? I got a little woman in me too. We all do a little bit. We all got a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And look, let me tell you something, honey. We move forward.
Grab your purse, right?
We move forward. And Joe Davis, we may not move the way you want to move, but we moving. Okay? And we going to get there. And we going to be there on time. You understand what I'm trying to say to you? So don't worry about Jade. Wait, but Cody Rhodes, I mean, what else he got to do, man?
Oh, he got something to say about Cody too, though.
I have an idea.
Hey, look, I was like, Joe. Hey, look.
Wait, Joe Davis got something.
Joe Davis show.
Joe Davis said, I can't wait for them to pull the trigger on this Cody and make him return to the dark side of the force with his natural dark brown hair, which would be money. Oh yes, man, that's what he said. Joe Davis,
are you ghostwriting AEW content right now, man? Is that you are you the AEW ghostwriter, man?
Oh no, because he goes hard on AEW too.
Oh my, no. I'm just saying, my friend, you are ruining people's lives out here, man. What you do? Cody is the most popular babyface they've had in 25 years, and you want to turn them babyface? I mean, heel already?
They did say,
slow down, bucko.
I saw a report earlier today that he's number one in merch sales basically at every show outside of, like, if there's a special international t-shirt, you know, I was there or something like that, like he's the number one seller. So I mean, he's doing exactly what he needs to do as a babyface. All right, so circle a couple of these things around.
Quick. Before you go, Matt, I do have something. I figured out who it would be.
Cool.
It's gonna be one time. The Rock.
The Rock is going to be on OG Bloodline?
Yes. Initially, that's what it's going to look like. And then his true nature of what he plans on doing with it is going to flip. And
so then who's the fifth member on New Bloodline?
A new someone that we haven't seen yet.
Okay.
Hey, hold on. Hey, hold on a second, y'all. Rhodesia, do you know WWE has collectively signed about 8 of their family members in the past month?
That was my cheat way out of it, because I
No
could say
no cap.
one of them.
Yeah. They done got like, Matt, who like, because there's rumors that Zilla has signed, right?
I heard
there's
rumors
like legit. I think it's 3. I wouldn't say like legit. I think it's 3. We haven't seen yet.
Well, Hugo Leo, he's not related to them, but if he's part of the story at this point, right? Like so we got him. I think one of the family members that was signed a couple years ago didn't pan out. I think they signed him back recently too.
Triple H is like, spin the block. Let's try it again.
Hey, this bloodline thing ain't going away no time soon.
Remember Belle for anybody in Detroit? You circle Belle and you didn't get the phone numbers that
you ain't see what
you
wanted. Man, hey, hit it again, boy.
Hey, man, you ever
get back on?
Hey, Matt, you ever like, you did a circle, maybe a circle to you ain't find nobody you like. You're like, damn, man, well, who next? Who left? I remember that one card.
Of course.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn,
and you trying to go back and find it. Yeah. You like, man, I ain't coming out here for nothing. I'm leaving here with something. Like Denzel said that day. I felt Denzel in my soul when he said that. I'm leaving here with something. God bless. So you got, both of y'all got one of the Samoans that I have not debuted yet. So the spoilers that came out, there is still chance and still time for something to happen where maybe that's not the final teams.
Okay.
Just because, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know anything but who they are. Okay. And I'm only saying that just because we got 3 weeks from, or 2 weeks from now. But so let's go to what I thought, and this person still may be it. But 3 weeks ago on the podcast, I said, hey, I didn't want to say it because I didn't want to spoil it, because to me, the answer was right there. But I didn't want to spoil it because it's kind of not right there. It's not in front of your face, but it's been there the entire time. And somebody who's listening, I wanted to see it played out on television. Once again, this may be the person, it may not be the person. But my answer was Braun Breaker. And I even tweeted it on Monday. And I said, hey, this is what I was talking about 3 weeks ago. And I think Braun is the perfect 5th member because of all of his connections. He has his connection to Paul Heyman. If you guys remember when Heyman went down to NXT, he was all about Braun Breaker. We haven't seen Heyman since he got put through the table from the OG Bloodline. You look at the last 2 feuds of of Jey Uso and Sami Zayn, it was Braun Breaker. Braun always talks about family, but how he doesn't need his family's name and legacy. He's creating his own. His entire Bloodline thing is about family. And what more of a hell of a push would that be to put him in a massive spotlight, is to put him with the OG Bloodline. So that was my thought process behind it. I enjoyed, of course, when Jimmy said, hey, you got time to talk? And he's like, yeah, I can talk. And they stopped it right there. I also love Jimmy did that. I'm about damn sure Sami Zayn and Jey Uso does not want a team with Braun Breaker. On the flip side, I am pretty sure Roman Reigns don't want nothing to do with Seth Rollins. And that's who Sami Zayn went to ask. So now Roman already maybe feel a little bit like, I don't trust you. We put the ones up, but what's really happening here? And now you're going to get arguably, which may be my biggest rival, my brother, that we ain't kicking it. We ain't been kicking it for a long time. There's just so much fun there that they're doing. So we'll see. We will see. So we had that. And then the women's match was also spoiled. And without giving away who the other members are, or member of the babyface team and the heel team, that match is so thrown together.
I was about to say hot take. God. Like, I don't really actually care who are the 5 people on each side of the women's one, because they just took all of the free agents, all the actual single wrestlers and some tag teams, put them together, and boom. Let's put them in a pot, stir them up, and let's go.
Fun match. Great match on Raw. I loved it. Thought it was great. Main event. Io's just happy to be there. I love me some Io. I just think she is probably one of the nicest, sweetest energies in the world. You can just see it on her face. So she's there excited. her and Bianca, just shake hands. They don't hug.
Yeah, they like, hold on. I think I like.
They raise their arms up to go off the air, and it hits me in that moment like, oh no, this is War Games.
Yep.
It's not enough heat for War Games.
Nope.
I really think they should have just done Bloodline versus Bloodline for War Games, and maybe they would have got some shit online with the fans because where's the women's match? Mm-hmm. But this match is what the Hell in a Cell has been for years. Oh, it's October or September, whenever Hell in a Cell used to be. I think it was October. All right, it's October. What's our biggest feud right now? Okay, let's throw them in the Hell in a Cell. Set it up for 3 weeks. And that's what this match feels like. Completely to me. But it was a fun match, but I'm just like, this is thrown together.
The one thing I am looking forward to in this women's match, well, again, we have players like EO, who I know is going to kill the War Games. But for me, I'm just ready to see Tiffy cash in. Now, again, who she's cashing in on, again, I'm going to sit back and watch out. But if this ain't a time for her to cash in at a War Games, I don't know when else you would.
So you're assuming she's not a part of the match, or she is a part of the match?
I'm going to say she is or isn't. I don't know, but I'm telling you she needs to cash in.
Well, because if she's not a part of the match, she can't get in the ring because the ring's going to be locked.
Matt, come on. Every time Hell in a Cell is supposed to be locked. Every time a War Games is something supposed to be locked, steel cage match. And the bad guys always find a way to get in.
I'm just telling you what the rules are.
That's a technicality. Okay, it can be after the match is over.
Okay.
Man. Just to go back to the Braun thing, I like Braun too, but I would keep away from that bloodline. Let him do his own thing, build his own story, his own path. I think whoever they put in that bloodline stuff is going to be something. Somebody's going to be associated with that whole feud and beef for some time, or has been associated with those guys some time. And then going with the Tiffy and the cash in, the one thing about WWE, right? Like a lot of the things that should happen kind of happen the way they're supposed to. And that's mostly good, right? But it's not surprises. I don't think that you're going to see Tiffy cash in with that many women. Like, cause that's a lot of moving part. Like, if you want to think about it from a logical standpoint, if I wanted to cash in, you got like 25 women in the ring. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm about to cash in. Like, it's too many people that can break up my pin or whatever. I need a one-on-one encounter, right? I feel like she's gonna pick her spot. That's gonna be on like another show that she can get more shine. Probably like maybe a Rumble when it's a match, or maybe even at that Saturday night's main event. A lot of people are speculating that, in order for that to be like a very popular event that's going to be semi-occurring every couple of months, that you got to have some big things happen on those shows. So we might see someone cash in December. So I think we might be waiting closer to around that time for for Tiffy. Mm-hmm. I think this women's match is just going to be just going to be a women's match, but at the same time, I feel like some people will complain if they didn't have a women's one, right? Like, oh, where's the women's match, right? There's so many diva stands in wrestling, man, that like if they don't get certain things, like they just start going crazy. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a nice match.
You said divas.
Yeah,
we use that word 25 years.
Yeah, diva stands.
But I even felt that the War Games, War Games didn't even have to be a thing. A couple months ago, I even said like, y'all could just have a match. Like, it didn't have to be War Games. It could have been regular Survivor Series. Like, it was almost like they were forcing to put Bloodline versus Bloodline. Because a couple months ago, we were like, we think it's going to be Bloodline versus Bloodline at War Games. We don't know yet because things haven't been brought to light yet. So for me, I've always just felt like, F the War Games this year. Just call it Survivor Series.
Oh, no, we need to. I don't know why y'all was on that. Like, there's like 4 or 5 of them. There's 4 or 5 of the other ones. They gotta go at it. Like, why wouldn't you want to see 2 factions go at it, especially like versions of them? So, and like the Survivor Series,
they weren't like that. At that time, we hadn't had anything.
But we knew we was getting it though. We knew we was going.
We knew that as hardcore wrestling fans, we knew that.
But I think that even back then, if you could look at the story and the way it was being told, right, like, going way back, Solo takes over the bloodline and he brings his own people in. We knew at that point that the original was going to come back. Like, at some point, we didn't know when. And we knew probably it was going to be WrestleMania. I feel like the story, when you really start looking at it, it was being told. Like, right now it's kind of being sped up, but we knew this is the time it was going to happen. Mm-hmm. Like, it seemed like it should have been laid a little earlier than what they did, but we knew it was coming because it only made sense. Like, you got the OGs. Like as soon as Jimmy was taken out, Roman was off, right? Jay had already turned. Like the wheels, the story is already being turned. That there's this new bloodline coming. We already knew that Rock, you know what I'm saying? Rock seemed like he like this evil old mastermind that's just like, man, these dudes ain't doing it right. I'm still needed. I need to take over this final boss character he created. It just made perfect sense that he'd be the mastermind. Now, I don't know if you have time to kind of see that part of the story, but it all seemed like it kind of led to this very moment. And Survivor Series ain't been a major thing for a number of years. At least the War Games has a fresher coat of paint. You know, it's in a big sale. It looks visually, it looks like a big deal versus just a 4-on-4 match. So it all kind of makes sense that we're getting this match soon, and it's going to be really good.
Well, we've had War Games now on main roster for. Would this be the third?
I think this is
okay.
The third.
So yeah, so it's been back to being a major show since then. The whole Raw vs. SmackDown.
If I'm not correct me if I'm wrong, I think we had a year off between the War Games, didn't we?
Between roster. NXT and main roster,
WWE? Main roster.
No, since they started it, it's been yep. So we had that. We didn't talk about the women's U.S. title. They announced that on SmackDown Friday, and I guess my question to you guys is, if you had the pin, who are you putting that title on for the first ever women's U.S. championship?
No dog in the fight, but I would think just popularity wise, it would probably be between Naomi or Chelsea Green.
Ooh.
Naomi's her name, right? Yeah, Naomi.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. When they introduced the championship, I was just like, damn. It's just so many of the women are just so bland on that roster. Outside the ones that are like vying for the championship. Because like all the
Eshaun?
Like a lot of them.
You will not name names.
Like a lot of
suck,
them.
Man.
Like a lot of them. Go off on Joe Davis.
Yeah, he definitely go off on Joe Davis, but he can't name one person. Hey, look at me. I named Bob Montez and he blocked me on Twitter. That's pretty cool. Whatever. It is what it is. Truth hurts.
I'm not blocked, though. So I'll message him on your behalf.
But you are missing one person though.
Who?
Michin.
Yes.
Yeah, actually, I think if I would love for Naomi to get it, but I think it's a 2-dog race between Michin and Chelsea Green. Like with the work they've done over the last like 6 months or so, like those are the two where I said if there was another championship that is here, I think it's them two. You
know what you got? You know, I kind of feel though I was about to say is that you got to put the title on somebody that's established in the fans' eyes to make the championship important. I feel like if they kind of they've done a good job of kind of rebuilding Michin. They've done a good job with that. But I feel like she needs, I would love for her to win championship because she hasn't had a championship in WWE and NXT since she's been there, right? And she's definitely deserved because I've always been a super fan of hers. But I feel like she needs to win the title, or maybe in the tournament, I guess, against some top people, right? To kind of give her some more credibility going into it. I feel like they need to give the title to somebody that's kind of, I don't even want to say like a returning Charlotte Flair, but they need to give the title to somebody that's established in the fans' eyes of like important, right? So then when that next, like that underbelly of women talent, like that mid card that's trying to break out, like when they beat that person, now they get the rub, because like the days of just giving somebody a championship, right? Just giving somebody a championship and that's what makes them a big deal. Those days are over. I feel like what you got to do, you got to have a credible champion that's when the person beats them, they kind of take a little bit of that light for themselves and they keep going with it.
So you want you want the first champion to be a semi or main eventer.
Yep.
Wow.
Establish that championship as not a mid card or lower card championship. Established as a big deal, right? Just like they tried to do with the IC title and they started doing with the US title. Make that championship a big deal. Put it around somebody who's a big deal, and then have somebody win and get that rub.
Although I agree with you, Queen Charlotte is not about to be the champion of the woman, whatever it's called.
But that would be on brand for her. People always think she only comes back to win championships. That'd be perfect.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm not saying it's beneath her, because you're absolutely right. You need, because we're not bashing anybody here, we need to make sure championships matter. So absolutely, Charlotte being the inaugural champion would absolutely speak measures, but she ain't come back. She told him, what's the phrase? I ain't doing that, pal. Ain't for me.
I think she would actually. You know, she won the NXT championship, right? And she tried to
make a bet.
build that brand. And two, you think about Tiffy. Tiffy is about to be the next champion on the brand, and I think that when Rhea comes back, she's going to be a champion on the brand, right? So that leaves one person out.
Let's make a bet.
I don't want to take no money from you.
It doesn't have to be about money. It doesn't have to be about money. It could be something.
Well, I know we can bet on one thing.
What's that?
In none of my wrestling minds would I ever think I'd be watching a Monday Night Raw and Gunther is looking like a little big bitch.
Oh, come on.
Never.
Don't do that.
Never.
Don't
Never.
do that.
And I love the character development. I love it.
Okay, so you do love the character development.
I love the character development, but he looks like a little big bitch. I can't believe they got him looking like that against Damian Priest. Damian Priest is punking that man left and right.
Big time. He flinching on him.
He flinched and everything. I was like, oh, this can't be what's happening right now. Is this really happening?
But that's
to
the mind games that Gunther does. I mean,
no, you had it right. Bring Walter back. I need Fat Walter back. Fit Gunther ain't it no more. Give me Fat Walter. I need that man to show up for Survivor Series. Fat. Bring it back, baby. What would y'all think about that promo segment? And then did it make you want to see Priest and Gunther anymore for Survivor Series?
It did. I love what this Gunther is turning into. I think we all agree that we talking about people being stale. Him being champion has been kind of stale. Rightfully so, maybe because of other things that's pulling our attention in other directions, but it's been stale. So this is something that's cool. Yeah, when he flinched, that kind of was like, oh, come on, Gunther, you better than that. But then that's when I thought, well, maybe this is a way for him playing games in Damian Priest's mind, because he still balls hard to his boy. Forgot his name right now. Sorry, it's leaving me.
Ludwig.
Yeah, Ludwig. So he's still punking him out.
And Kaiser's upset. Kaiser's like, I know you ain't letting this guy talk to you like that.
Yeah.
He can't but he's a great right-handed man. Like, I know you ain't letting this guy talk to you like that. Yeah. Do you know who you are? And then Gunther's little big bitch was like, man, let's go, man. We run out of time in the first seg. And then they just left. I was like, what's happening right now? How did we go from this man being indestructible and never losing to this man never showing up on TV? And when he does, this is what happens. And Priest was feeling himself too. Priest was in his pocket. I was like, man, I'm proud of Priest. I'm happy for him.
He got some earlier. He was just on cloud nine.
So, E, are you more excited? Less excited? Same excited? Did that segment do what it needed to do for you?
I mean, I'm just watching the story. So it doesn't do anything for me either way. When you think of a character perspective, like, I don't know how he'll go from being years of a dominant champion and within one loss, like, right, he's still a champion. Within one loss, now he's doubting himself to that degree to where he's scared of, like, Damian. It doesn't make sense unless there's something personal going on in his life, and I don't actually even want to see that story, to be honest with you. So
okay,
I'm like, it has to be, as we say, like a mind game or something he's trying to do to kind of, lure Damian Priest into a false sense of security or something of that nature. Is what I'm kind of guessing, because if it's just him humbling himself as a babyface, I'm not interested in that. Like, I'm not interested in that version of a champion that's this neutered, like, right, that's scared of his, like, I've never, like, you, like, that's not something I would cheer for. Like, I like, if you're on the top of the mountain like that as a babyface or a heel, I don't know how you, as a babyface, I'm supposed to cheer somebody because you're scared. Like, it got to be something else, right? So I'm just kind of sit back watching. I want to see what's gonna happen, but I would say that I'm not that interested. Either way, if it's just like a scheme, I still think it's a dumb scheme. And then two, if it's not a scheme, I think it's a dumb way to build a babyface. So,
Maybe he was legitimately scared. Maybe Damian wasn't supposed to do that. Maybe when they went over their lines in the back, they were supposed to part ways. And when Dame came at him, he's like, oh shit, let me go.
I'm sure that wasn't it. So on Twitter Monday, I was watching Monday Night Football, so I watched Raw right after that. But I saw they announced Priest versus Gunther, so I just said, "What's your current excitement level for this one?" A few comments that I wanted to wear because they're all across the board, kind of like where it sounds like the three of us are. Our guy Too Sweet Kyle from the OTM podcast, he said after that opening segment, honestly, an 8. I am looking forward to them running it back. Our guy Kraken for Life said 6 out of 10. It's a lame duck title match. We know Priest isn't winning, but the match will be good though. Backstage Brawl said 12 because low key they have chemistry. It's one of the feuds that's not faction related and has legs surrounding the title. And the title isn't hijacked by storyline purposes. This is purely for the grabs. Firefly Forever said 2, unfortunately. Eternal said their first match was great. After that promo, I'm very interested to see if they take the title off of Gunther. West on the Roll 1 said 8. I need Damian to redeem himself and put in an awesome performance. Powerbomb Jitsu said 6 out of 10. And at KOD KJR said 0. Crying, laughing emoji face.
Hey,
he is not feeling it at all. Say what?
What Joe Davis say?
Oh, Joe Davis is only on YouTube. Okay, this is
okay.
He only on Joe Davis. Yeah. Jonathan Blake said, I think I spoke to you about this before, which he did, but it really seems WWE is coasting until Netflix at this point. Even the Bloodline story is spinning its wheels. I think as of January 1st, everything will make a little more sense. Just a holding pattern until next year. And my response to him was, I thought this past SmackDown was a great show with some really good fun and storyline progression. So kind of all over the place on this one here. But the cool thing is, and I think I've said to somebody else, we were talking, is that this isn't a main event, right? Bloodline versus Bloodline is the match. Women's War Game is the match. So I thought this match was going to happen at Saturday night's main event. That's kind of where I had it circled on my calendar to be on the show. But you don't need it to sell the show. Show's already sold per se. But it's going to be interesting. I do think the match is going to be good. But I'm like, where is this going in terms of the Gunther character? Because we are starting to see chinks in the armor. Does Kaiser just completely turn on them? Like, it's going to be fun to kind of see what that dichotomy is. But Gunther being a big bitch was not on my bingo card for 2024.
You gotta stop calling them that.
101 days. Hold real quick. I just saw this real quick. So this may even tie into what you're about to say. Because E said earlier, and you said, no, actually you said earlier about his title reign and how it's been like a little, Both of these gentlemen won their titles 101 days ago. Gunther and LA Knight, who has had the better title reign, not the better stories they've been a part of that has nothing to do with their belts, nothing like that. Title reign versus title reign. Who has had the best title reign between Gunther and LA Knight?
Neither of them. Gunther, just because I forgot for a hot second again that LA Knight had a championship. So evidently that reign can't be that great, right?
I disagree with you.
I'll go LA Knight because I think his character and what he's been doing has been a little bit more interesting.
Same.
I know that.
All he does is break up Game 7s.
You hate LA Knight. You hate CM Punk. You hate Cody Rhodes.
So let me talk about what I was trying to say before you cut me off in the 101 days of these people holding titles. Actually, I had something to do with that too, though. You were right. You know me pretty good.
I know, man. I know. You forgot I know you.
That last guy, I think he hit the nail on the head of where I've personally felt like, besides the Bloodline, these title reigns to me has been just And it is probably because of this holding pattern that they're in, and not so much because of the Bloodline, but more so of getting ready for Netflix and seeing how that's going to play out. That to me has balanced an equation in my mind of why I felt like these titles reigns has been just there.
Okay.
That to me is a solution in my head.
I gotta tell y'all, man, like I don't know if we give WWE enough credit that they are creating content with no off time. You know,
I think we give WWE all the credit.
I think we do. I don't think that's fair, man. We do give them credit.
Because I say that to say this. To say, oh, it's a holding pattern for this. It's a holding pattern for that. Maybe it's just a law in the creative pool until they get to the next story that they're telling. Like, right? To say that, I think it's unfair to say that they're they're in a holding because like they announced that deal like 6 months ago to say that they've been in a holding pattern until that. I just don't think that's fair. Like there's too many big matches that are coming up right before that they have to prepare for. Like, right, if they got to keep people engaged until the Netflix deal, and that's no easy feat. Like, I think that we're just, some things you're into, some things you're not. I think they've had quite a few really good shows, and I think that some ways we're getting a little spoiled. I'm not, because I remember sitting through shitty years of Raws on the Vince's watch, and for the most part, every week on SmackDown and Raw, we're getting a good to really good show. And at least at the very point, it's entertaining, right?
But
so I don't feel like there's any law.
My argument is purely these championship reigns to me has been I never said the product was
but to say I don't think the championship is them waiting for Netflix. I think right now the emphasis is on the story and the characters, and it's just not about the championships. And that's all. And that's been wrestling in WWE for a really long time, Rhodesia. That's not just
no.
This year, it's always been more about the story
of WWE minus the bad years. I had multiple champions where I was encouraged and I was excited about their championship reign. I haven't felt like that for multiple championship reigns in this last year. There has to be a reason for that. Now,
because it's the bloodline. It's the bloodline. That's the big.
But is that fair to say that though?
And then
is that fair to say that?
Yes, because it's the bloodline. Then it's the Judgment Day. Those have been. If you look at the story, they've been building the shows around those two stories and what's been going on around them.
I agree. And Cody. Don't forget Cody. They've been building.
Of course, Cody.
Shows
right,
around Cody, right?
But
he's a champ. He's a champion.
He's a champion. You guys are just excluding him. So I'm just took him out of the equation. I'm just talking about
because
there's these stories, there's a big stories, and they've been focusing on Judgment Day for the past year and a half, and they don't have a solid. Their biggest champion was Damian.
Well, Rhea had it, right? And she just lost
Rhea, but on the men's side, right? Yeah,
right.
You talk about on the men's side, right? But Rhea's doing everything for the women. So I think it's just that they've been building around the bloodline of the Judgment Day for 2 years.
But that still does not debate what I'm saying about these champions not having amazing championship reigns. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because I do think you can do both. I think you can do both.
So I want to. It's not. You said it's they're holding pattern to Netflix is what I'm talking about. So
what I said was, let me be clear. I said I did not know what it was, what's going on. I said that last person who commented, he's balanced the equation in my head on how I'm rectifying why have these championships title reigns been so lame to me, and it's probably because of that. Because outside of the bloodline, what else would it be? And
another part of it, because you don't like Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes has been holding down on SmackDown for quite some time.
And you don't like LA Knight.
Major focus.
LA Knight has that title. So you don't like LA Knight.
I'm just trying to help you understand where you're at. Like, it might just be the people that are on top. You just don't like them.
I can admit, we talked about that chase of Cody Rhodes, of the chase of anybody. And when you're a face, that chase is usually a lot more entertaining than when you're actually champion as a face. We talked about that a few episodes ago. But just overall, I mean, if someone can come and tell me, hey, Rhodesia, you're absolutely wrong. All these champions in this last 2024 year in WWE has shined bright. No, they haven't. The product has shined bright. And I actually kind of enjoy the fact that WWE is so hot, and it's not just because of the top 2 or 3 people. But these championship reigns, I might remember a couple of situations of a championship match, but their reigns itself, no.
Man,
outside of Cody, it is more than fair to say. Well, it's more than fair to say right now, outside of Cody, in the last 5 months or so, the most popular superstars are not holding titles in this said moment today. I think that's fair to say. Now, maybe that's the reason why. But I do think there's something to that.
But is it fair to say that the IC and US championship have never been more important than they have been the past 2 years? Because before that, they didn't mean shit.
Oh, so we talk about 2 years. Yeah, I'm talking about right now.
We're talking about Gunther did his thing for the IC title. Then Brown is one of your guys, and he's doing this thing. And then Jake winning the championship. That was important. Like the IC title has actually been pretty decent. Now, if you want to talk about LA Knight's reign, that's something. Like Rhea who's doing her thing, and maybe you don't like the Liv thing that's going on right now. Maybe you don't like the Bayley, but they've been doing things with these champions now. Like, but they've been doing some decent stuff with these championships now. I don't know.
I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm only purely saying that these title reigns themselves, you take them as a snapshot from beginning to the end of their reign, they have just been to me. There's nothing been outstanding, stellar, like, oh my God, this champion of this year was just so amazing.
But is it more so that you don't like the champions themselves? Because you don't like LA Knight, you don't like Cody, and like these are the people that's going to talk for a while. I think I'd be objective to that. I think that I can say that, like, for instance, Punk. I don't like Punk, but I would say everything that he did this year, last year, Midas touch, turned into gold. I called him out, I think, on one promo. I didn't like the promo itself, but I came in here and gave him hell mad props. So I can be objective about that. I can view wrestling fandom as, is this a good product versus my own personal feelings?
Well, I mean, to be fair.
Which championships are this? That's just so I know, so I can understand where you guys are coming from, because we're excluding a lot of people. What championships are mad to you guys? So I can better understand.
It's who?
Which specific champions and championships you guys talking about right now?
I was saying all of them. To me, I'm saying all the championships. To me, it's like you're holding a championship. Okay, it's not like a stellar, so you can say all of them.
Man, that's like saying the product is mad.
Well, no, because if you love the Bloodline, to your point, you love the Judgment Day. If you love the Liv Rhea storyline, say if you love what else has been a big the Punk Drew storyline, it was amazing this past year. So they've done an incredible job with feuds. I think there is a debate to be had of why and what they could do better with the title holders in their said feuds to make it everything can't be number one. You got a pie chart. You got 100%. You can only put everything in this pie chart to get 100. You don't get 102. You don't get 105. But I do think there's room to make these title reigns a little bit better. It is. Now, do I think they're as bad as Rhodesia? No. But if you said, hey, Liv Morgan's title reign, take Liv Morgan's title reign, has it been the best? I would say no, but I think Liv has been tremendous in her role. I'm over her and Rhea right now, but I think she's been tremendous in her role. Her title reign, not so much. Gunther, title reign as champion in 101 days. Has he been interesting? Absolutely. Have I enjoyed him on my TV? Yes. His title reign, not so much, because we just spent the last 30 days promoting a match with him and Cody that was a non-title match. So that's still a title reign. Well, LA Knight. I have enjoyed LA Knight's title reign.
It's title for a crown jewel.
Yeah, don't count. You see, they don't need to talk about it no more. They don't need to bring it up. Yeah. So I do think there's something to it.
I think Cody's title reign's been pretty good. I think the IC champions, they've had multiples, have been pretty good. I don't mind Liv's as much. Who else you got? I think LA Knight has been fine. I think the tag team champions have been tag team wrestling.
Which ones?
It's both of them. I think tag team wrestling has been kind of an issue with that company for a while. That's something they need to revamp going forward, is the tag team situation. But I think you got the world champion. I think the biggest mad championship have been really just the world championship on Raw. I think when Gunther, maybe didn't have a plan for him, and Damian, but I think all the rest of the championship, Nia's doing the thing over SmackDown. I think her stuff is interesting. That's about the championship.
I think she was better as queen of the ring. Like, when I think about, like, my hypeness of them, I'm not thinking of her as a champion. I'm thinking of her as being the queen of the ring, because I had those visuals of her first putting on the crown. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's after that, it kind of just been flat. I mean, she's a dominant woman.
Well, her reign has been flat because it's too much about Tiffany. Her entitled reign now is like, when is Tiffany going to cash in?
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's best. I don't think that is doing them any favors in this storyline. I think it's doing Tiffany great. I don't know if it's doing Nia anything right now.
But it's about the championship, though, right? The whole thing's about her cashing in to be the champion.
That is true. Rhodesia, I got to bring you to the carpet. Pivot real quick.
You bring me to the carpet every
No,
time.
but this is egregious.
Okay.
You may say you have nothing to do with this. So I did some research. Y'all remember last week on the show where I talked about, hey, man, I wonder what's the youngest person who listens to us or watches us, right? So I did some research, and I don't have podcast numbers, but I do have YouTube watchers.
We can't talk about it.
No. Because when I give you this number, you're going to have to answer to this.
Okay, go ahead.
So age. Let's start with age. Let's go from oldest. Let's go oldest to youngest.
Okay.
we have 13% of our watchers are from the ages of 45 to 54 years old. Okay. 32% of our watchers are from the age of 35 to 44 years old.
Okay.
43.3% is from 25 to 34 years old. So that's our demographic right there. So shout out to y'all. And then we have 11.4% of 18 to 24. So we said 20. We were right there.
Hold on. Until you can, I know if you add all those numbers up, it's going to be majority, but you don't have anything for under the age of 18. I said
13 to 17 is 0%. No. This ain't what I was calling you to the carpet for.
Oh, okay.
This was just a recap of what we talked about. This is what I'm calling you to the carpet for, ma'am.
Okay.
When we put this podcast together, Eshaun, do you remember? We sat there and said, look, this is what we got. Got the three of us. We have Rhodesia as the female voice, bringing in the female listener. Why in the hell, in the last 28 days, our gender watch rate is 100% male, 0% female? You are doing nothing to bring your sex into the podcast.
Will I bring in women, though? Bringing in my sex?
You should be bringing the women. Kamala should have brought more voters out. You need to bring more female eyes. I went there.
Bring me the carpet
yes, I am going to do that. 100 to 0, ma'am.
Viewers on YouTube. Maybe they just don't watch YouTube because when they're trying to multitask, you can't really multitask because of the screen and you got to flip to something else.
Ma'am, if you don't go out here and promote the show and say you expect some more of your allies to get on this thing, and actually, if these numbers are wrong, if you are a female listener or a watcher, please comment so we know you are alive, you are there. Actually, there was someone who commented a couple of podcasts ago. I think it was their name, their like avatar was like a women's avatar, and their name was like a female. So shout out to you. Maybe you're the only one.
Hey, unbeknownst to you, I'm Joe Davis.
Okay, they ain't helping. Still 100%. What the hell? But yeah, I was like, what the hell is that about? And then we 60% of our viewership is from the US, 3% from UK, 2.5% from Canada, and 4% of people watches us with closed caption on. Just wanted to share that. But yeah, Rhodesia, figure your shit out.
Will my words come up as on the closed caption?
Oh, you and E both have your own language.
It just says inaudible. Don't even try.
It says, yeah, right. That's what it says. Question. Somebody put this on Twitter. I thought this would be fun. Which is the best upgrade in WWE history? It's 4 people. Number 1 is, so we're just going to take them from the time we saw them in either NXT or WWE to now. Okay. Charlotte Flair, Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, or Drew McIntyre. The question is, which is the best upgrade in WWE history?
Can we take Drew off? That's actually not fair. Well, you talking about Drew? You mean when Drew first came the first time?
Yeah.
To WWE.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
What do you mean? What do you mean upgrade?
The best upgrade from the person they are now, if they're a main eventer, et cetera, whatever, to when we first saw them, the way they were. We remember Becky Lynch as the Scottish dancer on NXT. We remember Drew McIntyre. Remember 3MB. Remember the son of Vince McMahon to what he is now. Of course, remember Tyler Black, Seth Rollins. And then Charlotte was just the smiling, I'm happy to be here, I'm Ric Flair's daughter character.
I had easily said Becky Lynch, but then when you threw in Drew, I'm going to have to land on Drew. He came back as a different person. So he was like, who was y'all mentioning before who's like a different person in wrestling? Like what they were to where they are now. It wasn't Braun, but it was somebody who came back. But to me, Drew and 3MB is not the same person. Weight, hairstyle, look, any of that. So I'm going to go with Drew.
I'm going to go a little different route with the question. I'm going to go from where they started NXT to where they ended up being on the main roster. I think Drew, he had kind of made his change over in the Indies. He carried that, worked his way up from NXT back up to the roster. Charlotte, that version of Charlotte happened in NXT towards the end of her run, natural progression. I would probably say maybe Becky. Because Becky kind of floated around, you talk about like out of the 4 horsewomen, Charlotte, Sasha, and even Bayley for a minute. Because we thought that, Bayley's going to be the female John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
Becky didn't really have a role. I think even in NXT, she kind of was like the fourth wheel a little bit. Yep. So for her to end up being arguably the most popular woman in the world, right? Not just the company at one point in time, goes a lot, because I think the man character is far different than how she was portrayed in NXT. And how she was portrayed for a long time actually in that company. Like that moment, I think just recently, I think it was like the celebration of like when Nia rocked her in the mouth and made her bleed. It was something like that. I saw a couple of days ago on Twitter.
That's today. That's today's anniversary day.
Was it today?
Yeah.
Was it today the anniversary?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, like that just changed her character forever. So I'm gonna go with Becky.
I can't be mad at that.
Both those two answers are the answers. It's not Charlotte. It's not Seth. I would still maybe go Drew. I really would, because when Becky, I know I know the question is like when they first appeared, but like Drew really wasn't a progression in my opinion. It was like Drew was like, okay, you're saddled with this Vince McMahon's chosen one gimmick. You're in 3MB. You're gone. And then you're back. And now you're like, okay, you're the shit. Becky went from the dancer to the last kicker. And when she was the last kicker, though, you started seeing like, okay, we can get behind Becky. And then she took off, as the man. But like, I think I'm going to go Drew. No way in the world when he was with 3MB would I ever think this guy is the future main eventer, WrestleMania main event type talent. So I would say Drew.
That was a fun question, though.
I thought that was a good one. Thought you guys would like that one. E's favorite guy, John Cena, announced today he's going to be officially entering the Royal Rumble.
Oh, wait, can he be the 5th man?
Could be, but he's coming back in 2025, not 2024 and a half.
Got it.
Or 2024 and 3/4.
Got it.
If John Cena has to win his 16th championship next year, so say it's going to happen, do you want him winning the Rumble and then winning the championship at WrestleMania? Or do you want him losing the Rumble, not winning it at Mania, and then winning it later on in 2025?
Correction. I think he's already 16-time, right? Isn't he tied with Flair? He winning one more would break it.
Okay, yeah, that's what it was. Okay. Yep.
So he'd be 17.
I think. Yeah. Yeah, because Orton's 15.
Yeah, in my mind, I feel like, again, barring any injuries, they kind of already know what WrestleMania is going to be. And I think us as fans know what it's going to be and built around. And John Cena winning a championship, again, you're talking about this whole bloodline thing, night 1, night 2. John Cena would have to main event that if he wins it, in my mind. So I'm going to just say, in your example, I'll take the latter. He's going to win it after Mania. If he was to become the 17-time world champion to break Ric Flair record, it would be, I think, after Mania.
I don't give a shit about John Cena, but I did think it was interesting. It was some talk. It was a conversation with a Cody Rhodes versus John Cena matchup at a WrestleMania. That might be interesting because that's a big matchup, right? That's deserving to be on the WrestleMania stage. I would want to see John go over on Cody, but I think that matchup will be interesting. Just on paper, I think it's interesting. I don't know. You got, again, one of the biggest baby faces in the past 20 years against another baby face on his retirement year. I don't know if you want to split the audience like that, because I'm big on not splitting your audience. But on paper, it looks good.
Did we talk about this on the show?
What part?
Because I don't want to rehash what he just said, that match.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so I had a conversation with somebody. I actually put that on Twitter. That's the match, and I added Triple H. Hopefully he doesn't block me too. That I feel like that should be the match, and not because I want to see Cody be heel, but I'm looking at Cody making the comment of, and of course it could be hyperbole. Cody making the comment of,
it's hyperbole.
WrestleMania is not going to be what we think it is. It's going to be much bigger, whatever he said, right? Selling WrestleMania.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, well, what's the biggest possible match you can give to Cody? It's him and John Cena, the face of WWE for the last 20 years with the new face of WWE. And I get the whole not wanting to split the crowd, but the crowd ain't gonna be split after the match. You raise his hand and everybody pops and we hug and people cry in the crowd and we go home. And Cody could be even bigger babyface afterwards. I don't know. Do I think Cena should beat Cody? Probably not. But I'm only looking at selling for night one, John Cena versus Cody Rhodes. And if Cena wins, he breaks. Oh my God. Are you kidding me, man? Like, that is money. If we were in the business of selling tickets, that sells tickets. They've already sold tickets. So I guess you don't need it. But man, get that to me, please.
On paper and doing what's best for money business, kind of probably how they was trying to do Rock and Roman last year. I can see that, but me being a Cody hater and me being an absolute stand for John Cena, I wouldn't want Cody to lose his championship to John Cena at Mania. I just wouldn't want to see that. Yeah,
that'd be tough. I don't know, especially the way that Cena's been portrayed. But I like the overall match. But like I said, I just wouldn't want to see John go over.
You don't have John beat him. You don't have John beat him, and then you maybe tell the redemption story. Because see, what I would love is you had your shot, John, and you lost. So now the rest of the year he's trying to climb back to get that title shot, and either that's through the rankings of beating said opponents, where we can get some dream matches during that time. We got to get him in Punk again. Okay. We got to get him in Orton again.
You could
right, and then we get to that point to maybe right around SummerSlam. Now is his next shot. Maybe that's when he gets it. But no, you don't have him. You have him pass the torch to Cody, and like
that will make
somebody.
More sense.
So then you were saying that he will not break Ric Flair.
No, he can, but not against Cody. You have Cody beat him at Mania.
When you brought that up, that's when I thought you were trying to say that would be where he would win the 17th time. So those are not the same thing at all as what you were saying.
Yeah, because me personally, I would much rather have that story than have the story of him not having a shot at all for the entire year, and then we're playing that game.
Yeah.
All right, man. In September, he had his shot yet. Okay, and then we do the logical, illogical storyline wrestling 101 of he gets his shot on the last Raw show in December of 2025. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want to do that. Like, nope, let's get that shot out of the way. So now watching him all year is kind of like, well, does he get another shot? So when he does get another shot, it's even bigger. Because, oh, shit, this is the one that he can actually win it on. And then you let him win it. It'd be a travesty, though, if he comes back and he doesn't win it.
I gotta keep it real with y'all, man. Seeing him come back in the Reebok pumps and them jean shorts with that ball spot, man, he should be winning nobody championship, man. I mean, I know there's a certain people that want to see him beat Ric Flair. I don't honestly care about Ric Flair's record. And it's a weird record anyway, because the championships aren't even from WWE. He only won the championship twice. He only actually won the WWE's championship twice in his whole entire career. This is all from NWA, WCW. So it's weird that they combine all these titles. To be honest with you, the most winning WWE champion of all time is probably Triple H or Randy Orton at this point. Maybe even John Cena. It's just weird that they celebrate Ric Flair like he's been this lifelong, career-long WWE guy, has won all these championships. That's just not true. It's a very weird stat that they're going for. I don't really care about it. I'm not sure how many of the new younger fans know the history and care about it. I think this thing is very weird. But John, do something with that. Like, look, man, it's okay. God damn, if I had y'all money, man, I would have all kind of plugs, man. I have plugs in my butt crack, my rooter, and my tutor. What are y'all doing?
Sorry.
John, cover that up, man.
Somebody did say that. They said, look, if he's going to be here all year, he needs to grow his hair out.
Cover that up, man. God damn it.
And I understand. I mean, I don't care too much about the ball spot, but I get it. But you really hate that man in his ball spot. You come out here and shit on John Cena's every opportunity you get, but you won't say nothing bad about who in the women's division is just okay. I peep your game, sir.
Yeah, because fuck John Cena.
Oh, wow. Damn, John Cena hurt you. That's not cool. What else, man? What else you got?
I originally had a between the sheets segment, but not really. Before we ride off, man, I gotta ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
We got AEW Full Gear coming up on the 23rd.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but I'm not really super excited. And as I'm watching AEW, I actually don't mind watching it late because here's the thing: I can watch it at my leisure because I'm not forced to watch it anymore on these shows. To be honest with you, I'm not forced to watch it. So now I don't have to sit and watch the entire show. Okay. I can skim and I can catch the things I want to see. I can see the stars that I want to see. So for me, it's kind of like when I watched Raw back in the day. I kind of, if it's a 3-hour show, I probably watch maybe 30 to 45 minutes of it. That's how I'm kind of watching AEW. So like the stuff that I actually see that I care about, I actually enjoy. But goddamn, I'm seeing a lot of things I don't enjoy, man. I'm seeing a lot of things I don't enjoy. Like we talked about it on another podcast, but like this MJF and Adam Cole thing is horrendously bad. It's just terrible. It's just horrible storytelling. I don't understand how MJF, every year we get these beat the clock to fight MJF stories. Like, and I don't know why Adam Cole and Roddy Strong, who are stablemates and friends, are agreeing to compete to wrestle this dude. It seemed like you would just give someone a mulligan and just fight the guy. I'm watching the Mercedes and Chris Statlander match and how like every week these girls are getting beat down. Like the bodyguard is getting beat down. The big time heel is getting outsmarted. Right? We know that she's probably going to lose at Full Gear, but it's just really bad booking. I'm having a hard time looking at these stories on this show. So when I look at this Full Gear that's coming up, even the Jon Moxley story is kind of a little wonky a little bit to me. Like I'm getting more stories, but they're just not telling it to me in a way that makes me really care outside of, hey, I like seeing the Hurt Syndicate. Like I like seeing some of the other talent. Like I like seeing House of Black. My girl Julia Hart's coming back. Like I'm here for that kind of stuff. But there's so many stories that they're telling that it's just bad. And I have I know we got a week and a lot can happen to AEW in a week, but I have no interest in this Full Gear coming up next week. What say you guys?
I went out for most of that. I am completely ignorant to what's going on in AEW right now. Complete full transparency. The little bit that I've seen is some of Moxley's intensity, which I enjoy, but again, that's the little dosage that I've seen of it. I don't know how it is actually truly playing out in a full episode, but I am liking what I see there. Other than that, I'm pretty much out of the picture as far as AEW this past month.
So this is when I got to get my y'all ever listen to like what's those shows? Yeah, those shows. Well, like when they get really close to the microphone, they do like this. And this is how they talk for the entire podcast, and it's like real serious, right? And they do that whole things like Science Fridays and
all those Ira Flato,
all those
Science
type of
Friday,
podcasts.
Yep. Ever disrespect.
So
Science
they
Friday.
do that kind of stuff. So Eshaun, so I did a social.
Doesn't do that.
So I did a social experiment this past month or so. I haven't watched AEW in 2 weeks. I watched AEW when they had the one big show, but then I haven't watched AEW. Haven't really even talked to AEW. But Rhodesia says she's like a big AEW fan. So I'm like, okay, well, if I stop watching AEW, let's see if she's a really big fan. She'd watch AEW on her own and talk about it. Rhodesia hasn't talked AEW on her own and talked about it. And I'm not going to watch AEW this week. And I'm not going to watch Full Gear next weekend. We'll be at the show that next Wednesday because it's in Chicago. And that's like our family tradition to do Thanksgiving Eve. And then I probably won't watch AEW again until I hear something that's on that show outside of a wrestling match that I have to watch. I just don't care to watch their show because it legit irritates me and frustrates me. I've been down this road already with you guys on the podcast. You guys know it gives me anxiety because I see so many missed opportunities. So I just removed myself from it. And I haven't missed it, to be completely honest with you. I was joking about the whole social experiment. I just haven't watched it. I knew she wasn't going to watch it either. But I'm not missing it.
Don't throw me under the bus after I said I haven't watched it for the last month. I set the stage. Remember in 8 Mile and how Eminem and they did the freestyle in the end and he brought everything to the front of the table first before the retort can even happen? I said on here live that I haven't watched AEW. I said outside of the little bit that I've seen about Jon Moxley and his intensity, I haven't watched AEW for the last month.
But no, I think he's trying to make a point that you were the AEW guy.
Correct.
And now that he stopped
I'm
watching, you're not watching it. But here's the thing, though.
I'm not a guy.
100%.
No, it's all universal.
100%. 100%.
It's all universal. It's all universal. Hey, look, and I'm a little lady sometimes too. So whatever. We together.
Well, shit. Okay, between you, so we got one full lady, we got one half lady. We need to have at least 2 women watching the show on YouTube. I'll be damned, man.
If you could just back up from the microphone a little bit, I know. I hope that segment is over. But listen. But at the same time, though, in all fairness, in all fairness to Rhodesia, the reason why she didn't want to switch our recording schedule because she knew it was going to happen. She was like, "Hey, we start recording on Wednesday. I don't have the time." And this is what I always talked about before. I'm like, I understand where you at because she's a mom. She's running like 5 businesses over there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, look, it's hard to get to watch all this damn wrestling. She was like, look, if we start potting on Wednesday, I'm not going to be able to catch up on AEW the way I want to. And that's exactly what happened. I understand it because that's what you got to make a decision. What I said a while ago, I'm like, yo, there's so much wrestling on, right? It's that, man, look, life be lifing, man. Like, there's so many things that you got to do as, you know, if you're a parent and spouse and significant others, you know, back in the day when I was out there banging the hoes, you know, you got
banging the hoes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You got so many things that you got to do. Like that, so to now you have to spit all this wrestling in, and at the end of the day, you know, when you got one company that, look, WWE is not perfect by any means. They have some opportunity on those shows.
Yeah, we talked about it on this show.
Yeah.
But, you know, for the most part, it gives you entertaining diversion from life. Like, right? So when you go and watch AEW, if it's not at the same level, visually, production, storytelling, you know, it's kind of hard to watch it at the same time. So, but I don't know what they can do, guys. AEW, man. I don't
Yes,
see...
you do. You do know what they can do, but it's going to take a massive reset. And then you can argue and say they don't need a reset. And I would argue and say, okay, maybe you're right. You don't need a reset because you're still getting hundreds of thousands of viewers. You're still getting hundreds of thousands of people buying these pay-per-views. Cool. Maybe you don't need it, but that is what they need. There was they announced that they are running Collision at the Hammerstein Ballroom, which is the night after Ring of Honor Final Battle. Ring of Honor Final Battle is going to be at the Hammerstein Ballroom in New York. That's where all the type of dynamites need to be. Those type of venues.
Smaller
I've said that forever. That would make me start watching again because at least the crowd can bring that. Yes, the crowd would bring that energy. It'd be you would see a different level of excitement on the show because the show to me is just super bland outside of the production. Moxley came out and had an interview this week and said he overheard somebody in the background or the back talking about a certain segment, and the person said, basically, why does it matter? Because it's a low, I don't know if it was a low level. Actually, let me just pull it up so I can say it correctly. But my retort to that was, yes, you can see it and you can feel it on the show. So, okay, this is what he said. He said, there will be a lot of stuff that won't be a part of this AEW. For example, earlier in the year, I was having a conversation, or I was around the conversation earlier in the year. I heard a backstage type person talking about interviews or pre-tapes or something. It was a situation where talents were not put in a position to succeed due to lack of preparation, framework, direction, and things like that. This individual said, well, it's the bottom of the card. It doesn't matter. And you can see that.
But haven't we already learned to stop having stuff from the back and locker room come out to the general public? Like, that is terrible. That's absolutely terrible.
Well, we don't care about that.
And if I was...
Well, we don't care about that.
But I'm just saying, though, like...
He said, can you imagine saying that? You're fucking fired. Go work at Sunglass Hut. You should be fucking pistol whipped for saying that.
But for real.
For one, everybody that's at the top of the card was at one time on the bottom of the card. That's how it works. You climb the ladder. You see this frustration or confusion for some of these talents because there's no fucking ladder. They don't know what to do. They're just wandering in the desert. We're going to grab them and we're going to walk with them. So, of course, that's a great answer. But you can see that on TV, though. I've always said they typically hit on their main storylines outside the devil. They, you know, the main match storylines you're invested in. It's the other stuff that I'm just like, I'm good on. So Yeah, so to be completely honest, man, I wasn't trying to dismiss your question. I don't plan on watching Full Gear. I haven't watched over the last 2 weeks. And I just feel like outside of maybe missing a good match, I'm not going to miss anything. So I'm cool.
Well, see, that's part of the issue and problem, right? We went from diehard AEW fans to I'm not watching the pay-per-view. I'm not watching the shows coming up. And this is happening to a lot of viewers, a lot of hardcore AEW. Look at the last week's show. Like, right? I know you're not into ratings and stuff like that, but it's just telling, like, you know, like NXT went to Wednesday to their night and AEW got under 600,000 views for their night. So that just tells you that some of their viewers decided to watch NXT as well. Like, right?
Oh, it's only because of ECW. Just so you know.
But that's the truth though. But look, some of the AEW hardcore fans.
That is kind of the truth.
Ain't nobody still watching wrestling who used to watch ECW like us.
But no, I'm saying that look, if you look at whatever reason, those AEW diehards decided to watch something else than watch their product on the same night. Like a lot of diehard AEW fans are slowly tuning out of the product. And to be quite honest with you, I just don't see it changing anytime soon, guys. I gotta be honest. Like WWE is not gonna stop being WWE for a while. Even once they lose the pulse of like the fan, like they have it right now, right? Well, it's gonna happen at some point. You kind of lose a little bit, then something kind of snaps, something generally snaps you realign, right? It goes up and down. Once they actually lose the pulse of whatever it is, once they lose like this aura that they have, like it's still gonna be for a while. It's still gonna be kind of. It's gonna take a while for them to kind of lose it completely. Mm-hmm. What is AEW gonna do in the meantime? Like, right? Because you gotta think about what they're not the alternative right now. They're just not. Like that was their thing. They were the alternative to a really bad brand when Vince was running. They're not the alternative. They don't really have an identity. Like, where I'm the hardcore fans, but the WWF. Wait, I'm sorry, WWE. Well, I'm going back and I'm losing my mind.
You went back, boy.
I'm going back. They're still catering to hardcore fans too. You're still getting excellent wrestling. You're still getting, these stars and legends from the past. You're still getting these things at a high clip. So what is AEW and what is their route? Like
AEW's where the best wrestle. Told you that already.
Not according to Kenny Omega. Not according to Kenny Omega. But we'll talk about that on another show, guys. We gotta wrap soon.
Oh man, okay, we out there.
Tell Matt real quick before we sign up. Tell Rhodesia. I don't think Rhodesia heard that. Tell Rhodesia the Kenny Omega story. You do a better job of it, real quick before we sign out.
Man, no, let's hold that because that's a whole conversation in itself. And I know you said you wanted to go, so let's hold. We can hold that for next week. But Kenny's a fan of just wrestling, man. No matter what promotion it is, even if it's not his home promotion, but it's like home to him, and that's where the best wrestle. All right, we out of here, man. Let's get out of here. We gave y'all almost an hour and 30 minutes. I know my guy Billy Mays on X earlier today said, man, the Freaks really missing out on us not being 2 times a week right now. And I said, even though we're not 2 times a week right now, he added you. That's when you got to check your Twitter.
I was scared.
Even though we're not 2 days a week right now, that could be coming back in the future. I was like, don't worry, man. We're going to bring it on this episode. So hopefully you guys all appreciate it and loved it. We love you guys. Y'all know that. Y'all know the deal. You know where to find us. We are on Twitter. That's 7W. We're on YouTube. That's Freaking Wrestling. We are on Instagram. We are everywhere you would be. We just need y'all to rock out with us. Leave a thumbs up. Leave comments. Do all that kind of good stuff. Interact with us. All right. So most importantly, if you are watching on YouTube, hit that subscribe or that follow button. All right. So you don't miss nothing. And that is about it. We out of here. We love you guys. Talk to you next week. Hit that button, E. We out.